Well, hello everyone. Good evening. Are you ready for another great session with more information regarding well, our product of the month? This month the product of the month is the probiotic, the Probio 3 Plus. My name is Dylan de Jusino. I am the regional sales manager for Canada. So hey, I see we got 52 people so far, so we will just give a few more minutes to see how many of us will connect today. Just if you want, let us know in the chat where you are connecting from, so we can see. Normally we got some people all over America, so just go ahead. Yes. Right, I think I don't see the chat, but hey, so welcome for tonight's session. I will introduce in a few minutes. Oh, we got Dr. Susan from BC. Hey Sue, how are you? Jan Bussell, North Carolina. Katia Fortin, Jonquière, Québec. Bonsoir Katia. Sylvie Saint-Apollinaire, bonsoir Sylvie. Hi, Bruce from Alabama. Hello Bruce, how are you? From Arequipa, saludos a Rodolfo. Cherry Bloomfield. Hey, all right. Perfect. So just so you know, I will switch to Spanish and French right now. Solo para que lo sepan, tenemos la traducción en español con Sergio Martínez. Por favor, vayan al botón de interpretación para cambiar el idioma. Et pour la traduction en français, nous avons Lucien Labarre, comme toujours. Donc, si vous voulez écouter cet appel en français, en temps réel, allez sur le bouton interprétation pour pouvoir donc changer la langue. D'accord? So, hello, Dr. Jimmy Gutman. How are you tonight?
Very good. How are you, Dylan? Good to see you.
Good now. Nice to see you too. We've been missing you on these calls.
I'm here. I'm back.
Awesome. So tonight you will talk about Probiotic Plus.
Yes, yes. Very, very exciting product. And you'll see why one probiotic is not like another. So this one's special.
As always, I believe you, Doc. So I will leave you the screen right now, and yeah, let's hear all the information you have for us tonight. Thank you so much
Well,
for being here.
thank you. And hi, everybody. Glad to have you here tonight. I'm just going to take a moment and share the screen, and we'll get this lecture going. Here, how does that look?
Perfect, Doc. Thank you so much.
Good. So there are some links there on the bottom right. If you want to just check out my Facebook page, there's always new articles on the topic of glutathione there and new research. Um, there's my YouTube channel where you could find interesting videos on glutathione and Immunocal and other things. But let's just get into tonight's product knowledge session. And today, as Dylan mentioned, we're going to take a close look at our product, Probio 3 Plus. Now, even looking at the name, it's clear that there's a lot going on here. If you think this is much more than just another probiotic, well, you're right. So, Probio, that's the easy one. It stands for probiotic, which we will explain in the upcoming segment. But it's important to note that there are actually seven, yes, count them, seven separate probiotics in this formula. This really sets us above the crowd. And the 3 plus, well, at the very least, this product is number one, a probiotic. Number two, a prebiotic. Don't worry, I'll explain what that is as well in a moment. And number three, an antioxidant in the form of cranberry, especially tailored for immune function. So you are going to discover over the next few minutes that this product is not just for intestinal health. It's profoundly more immune health, brain health, and a whole spectrum of other applications that research is only now discovering. So hear this. Humans could not survive were it not for the bacteria living in our body. In order to take care of ourselves, we need to take care of our best friends, that being the bacteria. So these are some bacteria. Any idea how many bacteria live on you or in you? There are more bacteria living in your gut than there are people on the planet Earth. Um, this is a very, very large number. I'm not even sure how to call that number. I think it's 100 trillion bacteria live in your intestine. Now, fortunately, most of these bacteria are what we call good bacteria. Now, these bacteria help us digest food. These bacteria help us with our immune system. These bacteria protect us from infectious disease. And believe it or not, they're actually helping your brain as well. In fact, we could not live without these critters living in our guts. Unfortunately, there are also bad bacteria in our intestines. And these compete directly with the good bacteria. Not only can they mess up our digestion, causing cramps and diarrhea and constipation and a whole other list of problems, there's a long list of illnesses that we can now associate with bad gut bacterial overgrowth. So let's look at this ongoing war between good bacteria and bad bacteria. Normally, about 85% of the bacteria living inside of us are helpful or good bacteria, and about 15% that are pathogenic or potentially bad. But there's so many things that can throw this balance off, like stress, all kinds of other health challenges, infections like the stomach flu, the use of antibiotics. Anybody out there ever get diarrhea after taking antibiotics? That's because they're killing off the good bacteria. And all sorts of other drugs and toxins can affect this balance. And especially not having great food and good nutrition. So here we see this balance between good and bad bacteria. And if we want to restore a good balance, we can do that by taking probiotics. This is not a complicated concept. So let's get into a little more depth here. Most people know what a probiotic is. It's feeding yourself the live, good bacteria. But let's look at something slightly different. Let's see what a prebiotic is. A prebiotic simply is nutrition or food for the good bacteria to thrive. It's what they need to support themselves and their own health. Finally, I promise only one more new word. What's a symbiotic? A symbiotic is a combination of a probiotic and a prebiotic. So a symbiotic is a prebiotic and a probiotic together, which is much more effective. If you take both together, ultimately you'll get a better result. Just like if you were seeding your lawn with grass seeds, the probiotic, adding fertilizer, the prebiotic, will make the whole thing more successful. Now, why is this all important? Here you see what shows up on most lists as what probiotics can do for your health. Acts as a cleanser for many toxic wastes, helps you absorb nutrients, keeps you regular, helps you if you're lactose intolerant. It actually supplies the bacteria that digest lactose, and it even has an effect on knocking back bacterial growth in your urinary tract. So these are the classic benefits. But this does so much more. You need to look at the research on PubMed, what it has to say. This is the most complete data bank for most major medical and scientific journals in the world. There's hardly a day where I don't go onto PubMed to do some research. So you scientists and research, I'm sure you feel the same way about PubMed. So when you enter the keyword probiotics into the search bar, well, you'll find about 20,000 articles written on this subject, probably more by now. Try entering probiotic and digestion. Well, you'll get over 400 papers. Try probiotics and constipation, about 375. Diarrhea, a whole flood on probiotics and diarrhea. Now it gets a little bit more interesting. If you add the word immune as an immune system, you get a whopping 3,500 articles published on probiotics and the immune system. Even Urinary problems scores almost 400 articles. Well, it gets better. Dentistry, would you think that probiotics are written up in relation to dentistry? Well, yeah. Um, there's another 400 articles. The brain. Now, come on. Here's the scoop. The bacteria in your gut produce neurotransmitters. Yes, when you say you are what you ate becomes even more profound. You think what you eat as well. Your mood can be what you eat. Over 1,000 papers. I went to a conference recently where half the day people were presenting papers on the use of probiotics in depression. In depression. Here are over 55 articles that show probiotics can make you smarter. Yes, probiotics and cognition. This all has to do with what we call the gut-brain axis. We are finding out that you cannot separate gut function from brain function. Yes, that's the truth. So hang on to your seats, everybody. Even in a year from now, there will be hundreds of more findings on how probiotics are essential for so much of our health. So here are the 7 strains that are inside of Immunotec's Probio 3 Plus. And you can read them there. But let's look at these individually. Bifidobacterium lactis, there's studies that look at the diarrhea that you get from antibiotics and even other diarrheas, as well as its ability to improve immune function. It's even been looked at as useful in acute respiratory infections and lung infections. Bifidobacterium longum. This is great if you have a gluten problem or celiac disease. It's also good for liver health, for fatty liver, and of course, immune support. Lactobacillus acidophilus. This is a very highly researched probiotic. This is used in lactose intolerance. It improves mineral absorption, and it even will help with vaginal infections and vaginal health. Lactobacillus casei, again, it even extends to a preventive role in certain colon cancers. Lactobacillus helveticus has been looked at blood pressure and anxiety, depression, even as a sleep aid. Lactobacillus plantarum has been looked at lowering cholesterol. It's useful in inflammatory bowel disease. It helps with iron absorption. And we can go through all of these individual probiotics that we have in our product, and each one of them plays very definite roles in many, many different problems. So we have 7 separate strains, and which affect things from A to Z. So now I hope you can appreciate that not only is Probio 3 a remarkable product, it is so much more than just a probiotic. It's a symbiotic, which represents a combination of probiotics and prebiotics. It has 7 strains of good bacteria. Many products out there only contain 1 or 2. And please remember that each of these strains acts a bit differently and has its own spectrum of benefits. And finally, it contains cranberry. Very, very cool. And of course, we need to add the expected benefit of intestinal health. Your gut bacteria are an essential part of your immune system, critical to your life, play a huge role in the production and action of neurotransmitters, which have a direct effect on your brain, on your mood. We could talk about oral health. We could talk about urinary health. We could talk about vaginal health. Make this product a part of your everyday routine and stay healthy and stay safe. So thank you for your attention. That was a lot of information, but there really are so many benefits from our symbiotic.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Doc, for all that information. And yes, you're right. It's a lot of information, but even like that, you make it very short. So it's perfect for everyone. So yeah, everyone, if you have any question regarding probiotic, please, regarding probiotic, go ahead, just ask your question. I will start with the first question. Doc, is there any specific dietary or lifestyle habits that can enhance the effectiveness of probiotics?
Oh, certainly. And the most important thing that you could be doing is eating a plant-based diet with lots of fiber, because these natural fibers will also act as prebiotics. Again, the probiotics, they're living organisms that you're ingesting, but the probiotics need to live off of their own nutrition, and their own nutrition is found in prebiotics, and these prebiotics are found in different sources of plant-based food, and especially the fiber in those foods.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So I see some questions here. Okay, I see the same question in Spanish and French, so I will use that one first. When is the best moment to take probiotic during the day?
Well, the best way to take it is to take it uh, at any time of the day. Um, but many people will take it in the morning. It does help with digestion. I don't think there's any real firm guidelines here. I know some people are suggesting taking it at certain times of the day. As long as you're taking it, you're doing yourself good.
See a question here I don't understand well, so I will jump this one for the moment. So I'm pretty sure there's a legal answer in that, but those children can take it.
Well, again, as I've mentioned before, there's usually two types of answers to the question. One is a medical answer, and two is a legal answer. So let me start with the legal answer. It depends on which nationality you are, because every country has their own guidelines. And Immunotec is allowed to market to children in certain parts of the world and not in others. So look carefully at the package of your probiotics, and it will let you know whether legally you can promote it for children. Medically speaking, absolutely, kids can take probiotics. In fact, it's suggested for certain children with digestive issues or even certain neurological issues that they might benefit from the use of probiotics and prebiotics. So it's a bit of a cop out, my answer, but medically speaking, kids can take it.
No, since we've been doing that a lot of times, I know there's always the medical answer and the legal answer. Dr. Gutman, the recommended dosage is 1 capsule daily. Is there any problem with taking 2 a day? 2 or more, I guess. Two a day.
But just out of curiosity, the Canadian package says how many? Is it one a day?
Oh, I wouldn't say, Doc. I have the Mexican one and it's one a day.
Okay, so it's a good question. Certainly, taking two is not going to do you harm. When you get higher than that, there might be certain problems. Um, but taking one is absolutely fine. Taking two, you can certainly take two without a problem. I see our friend Orge is there looking at the bottle.
Exactly, yeah. Hi, Jorge. How are you?
Do you need, what exactly do you need, doctor?
Just in Canada, what is the suggested dosage?
The suggested dosage. Uh,
We're in so many places now.
Yes.
Take at least 2 or 3 hours. No, it's so small that I cannot read it. Sorry.
Okay.
Now.
Well, actually, but I think that pertains to a question that was asked earlier. On the bottle, it says a suggestion that taking it 2 or 3 hours before a meal or after a meal. Um, that's good advice, but don't worry if you take it closer to your meal.
Actually, we got Lucien Labarre from Canada saying it's written one a day, and also
Okay.
in the US, it's one a day. So,
Okay, excellent.
One daily, yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Okay.
right. I have
Sorry.
another question. I mean, I have two questions, two different,
Yes.
but I'm pretty sure we can give it in one answer. One of
Okay.
the question is, why is it not allowed to take probiotic during chemotherapy treatment? And the other question is, if someone received chemotherapy for cancer, should they take more than the regular amount? So why is it not allowed to take probiotic during chemotherapy? And for someone with cancer, should they take more than regular?
This is a theoretical problem. When you take chemotherapy, most chemotherapies, but not all chemotherapies, um, will affect your immune system and will actually make your immune system weaker. And many chemotherapies will also kill the good bacteria in your gut, and you end up with diarrhea. So theoretically, you may be overwhelmed by the prebiotic um, organisms that you're eating, and they may take over the entire population of your intestine. Now, this is strictly theoretical because I believe that there are doctors that suggest taking probiotics in the cases where you're having diarrhea with chemotherapy. But it's a warning that we're asked to state in certain jurisdictions. And of course, let's stick with the recommendations that you're getting.
Exactly, yeah, totally. What is the main difference between this probiotic versus the one they offer in the market?
Well, there are many different kinds in the market. Some are better than others. Many just give you 1 or 2 strains of probiotics. We give you 7. Many won't give you prebiotics with it. We give you prebiotics with your probiotics, which is why it's a synbiotic. And I'm not aware that there are any others that contain cranberry, which has a number of benefits. Number one, it's an antioxidant. And number two, it's known to increase the immune health of bladder problems. So you get the protection of your bladder from certain infections. And I know you've heard your mother or grandmother tell you if you have a urinary tract infection, drink cranberry, and that's why. Other probiotics, for example, they'll have one strain that improves neurotransmitters, and they'll say, well, this probiotic is good for anxiety and depression. It's been studied for that. And you go, oh, cool. I'm going to buy this probiotic because it takes care of anxiety and depression. We have that strain in our 7 strains. Or you might have another probiotic that says it's good for diarrhea. We have those strains in our 7 strains. So don't get distracted by probiotics that claim 1 or 2 specific benefits. We probably have that probiotic in our product. So what you need to look at is the amount of live bacteria that you're getting. You need to look at the amount of strains. You need to look as to whether there's a prebiotic in there and to whether there's other little jewels like Cranberry. And we have all of those, which makes us really an exceptional product on the market. Good question.
Great answer. What is the main benefit and when do you see results with probiotics?
There are many benefits. There are many benefits. Um, if there was a main benefit, it would be talking about intestinal health and digestion, and things like diarrhea and constipation and regularity. But there's so many other benefits. What was the other part of that question, Dylan?
It was, sorry, because it sits in, please, if you can put the question in answer, because I'm trying to jump between the chat and the Q&A section, but when do you see the results usually? I mean, I'm pretty sure it depends on everyone, but
It depends. If you're looking at treating antibiotic-caused diarrhea, you could see results pretty quickly. If you're looking at taking care of lactose intolerance, again, you can see results pretty quickly. If you're looking at something like inflammatory bowel disease, then you need to certainly be a more patient. So it depends on the problem. There are quick results and there are other things that will take weeks.
yeah, like all our products, I guess. I mean, some people will feel with the Immunocal will feel energy after 1 week, other it will be 3 months. So
Yeah,
it depends
yeah,
on everyone.
yeah.
I have, so the first question I had and I didn't understood, I think now they reformulated it. So it's, can we
Okay.
use them to make probiotic yogurts? The
Uh,
Probiotic 3 Plus.
So the question, repeat the question.
Can we use them to make probiotic yogurts?
Oh, what an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. As long as after you mix it in, you be sure to eat it shortly afterwards. But what an interesting idea. See, we learned something new, Dylan. That's a
Yeah. I never
trick
saw that
idea.
before.
Yeah.
Let me see, because actually there's a lot of good questions there. But I will see with someone who have a disease. So a person with Crohn's disease, will the Immunocal and Probio 3 Plus help with the disease? How much of Immunocal should be taken? I mean, that's, yeah.
Um, at least 2 pouches of Immunical, depending on the severity, as much as 3 or even 4. The probiotic, um, you just stick with your 1 pill a day. You can take 2 pills if you want. And that combination has shown some good success according to feedback from the field. So, so I'm not sure whether that person is actually asking a real question or they're being polite and telling us that they've used that for inflammatory bowel disease with success. In either case, thank you for asking that question.
Okay, so I have Sue Horoyd here asking, are they shelf stable or do they need to be refrigerated? And there was someone else asking, what do probiotics need to be refrigerated actually? So it's 2 different questions, but are they shelf stable or do they need to be refrigerated?
Those are good questions. I don't know the answer.
Okay.
I don't know the answer. Certainly, if there's any instructions on the bottle, I would follow those. Um, I know that I don't put them in the fridge. Um, I'm sure that putting them in the fridge will prolong the shelf life, but I'm not sure what the instructions are on the bottle.
Okay.
Just in general terms, um, it's best to refrigerate most medications because it increases the lifespan.
Can consuming yogurt made from raw cow's milk contains probiotics?
It, it can contain probiotics, but if it's from raw cow's milk, there's also the danger that it will contain other bacteria that will be bad for you. Now, I know that in Canada and United States, it's very, very difficult to buy raw cow's milk. In fact, it's illegal in many states and certain provinces.
Oh, okay.
There are a lot of fans of raw cow's milk, but you really have to trust the source and the way that the milk is handled. But certainly, um, you could find, for example, probiotics in certain yogurts and certain cheeses. Um, and some yogurts are promoted because of the fact that they contain probiotics, but they probably only have one or two strains of probiotics. So although you can get some probiotics from real food, it's limited in the amount of strains that are in there.
Um, I see here, if someone is on antibiotics, when should they take the probiotic?
You can start taking the probiotic right away. It will certainly give a jump on things. If you wait until you have diarrhea, well, then you've waited until you have a problem. Um, I would recommend taking it right at the outset. Although, for example, if you have friends who don't have Immunocal, well, then you can always jump in afterwards and recommend that they take the Immunocal after they develop their diarrhea. But you're best off starting early, especially if you have a history of developing diarrhea when you take antibiotics.
Actually, I see Marta regarding the other question we had. In the US, the bottle says keep in a cool and dry place regarding the probiotic.
And that makes sense. But putting it in the fridge would probably be an even better idea, but that makes sense.
Is it safe to take the Probio 3 Plus if you are doing immunotherapy or Devo for kidney cancer?
Again, these are theoretical considerations. Many times we're asked to put those warnings on by government legislation. Those areas, again, we discussed the cancer one and the immunotherapy one, and it has to do with the same thing. Um, Immunotherapy sometimes will knock back your usual immune system and leave your intestines quite sensitive to being overwhelmed. So again, it's the same theoretical consideration as in cancer.
And can I ask you one last question? Because I don't have
Sure.
more question actually. Okay, so this one is, can these be given to our pets?
I don't know. I don't know because I don't know what the normal organisms are in a dog's gut or a cat's gut. They may be different. That would make an interesting Google search, but I don't know the answer.
Perfect. No,
So now they've stumped me. So now I'm going to have to do my own research.
I mean, I do give half a pill to my cats in their,
Okay.
but I mean, I I don't know if that's doing anything wrong to them. As far as I know, no. But
Well, after this call, I'm going to go look it up.
perfect. Well, I
So
mean,
thank you very much, Dylan.
no, thank you
You're
so
a
much, Doc,
great host. And thank you, um, Sergio and Lucien for your great translations.
Thank you so much, Doc, for your time, and also for all of you, because I know it's very quick with the presentation. I've put in the chat, and I will do it again right now. You will see Dr. Gutman's YouTube channel, where you can see any other information regarding glutathione and any other diseases. And also, I've entered the link for Dr. Gutman's book. So if you want to learn more about glutathione, you will also have the opportunity here to purchase the book, and yeah, take a look at it. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight, and have a wonderful evening. See you next week for Glutathione Central and autism. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, I was doing just fine before I met you. I drink too much and that's an issue, but I'm okay. Hey, you tell your friends it was nice to meet them, but I hope I never see them again. I know it breaks your heart. Moved to the city in a broke down car and 4 years no calls. Now you're looking pretty in a hotel bar and I can't stop. No, I can't stop. So baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover that I know you can't afford. Bite that tattoo on your shoulder. Pull the sheets right off the corner of the mattress that you stole from your roommate back in Boulder. We ain't ever getting older. We ain't ever getting older. We ain't ever getting older.
You look as good as the day I met you. I forget just why I left you. I was insane. Stay and play that Blink 182 song that we beat to death in Tucson. Okay. I know it breaks your heart. I moved to the city and I broke down car and 4 years no call. Now I'm looking pretty in a hotel bar and I can't stop. No, I can't stop.
So baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover that I know you can't afford. Bite that tattoo on your shoulder. Pull the sheets right off the corner of the mattress that you stole from your roommate back in Boulder. We ain't ever getting older. We ain't ever getting older. We ain't ever getting older. So baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover that I know you can't afford. Bite that tattoo on your shoulder. Pull the sheets right off the corner of that mattress that you stole from your roommate back in Boulder.